Hi, Paracton Weather Meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, June 21st, the first day of summer. Let's get caught up on the tropical situation. Claudette reached tropical storm status before making landfall over the southeastern part of Louisiana during the past weekend. It then moved to the north and east, weakened into a tropical depression, but now has re-strengthened into tropical storm status right here in the eastern part of North Carolina. It will exit the coastline later today and continue on a northeastward track, pushing just to the south and east of Nova Scotia over the next couple of days. It could intensify a little bit more as it moves out over the relatively warm waters of the western Atlantic. You kind of see the cloud pattern, as was the case during the past week, and much of the rainfall has fallen on the eastern side. It produced some heavy rainfall over eastern Louisiana, Mississippi. Alabama was quite hard hit with some heavy rainfall, the western part of Florida, the Panhandle region. And again, now it is producing some heavy rainfall across the Outer Banks, the eastern part of North Carolina, as Claudette continues to move to the north and east. Again, came ashore as a tropical storm, then weakened into a depression, now back to tropical storm status, on its way to exiting the eastern seaboard, again around the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Meanwhile, there is another tropical wave down here over the tropical Atlantic Ocean. It will continue on pretty much a west track over the next 48 hours or so, and we'll keep an eye on it as it heads towards the Caribbean Sea. Well, a few areas to point out here on this morning's radar loop from WSI's and telecast.com. First of all, here is the rain associated with Tropical Storm Claudette. Again, it produced some heavy rainfall across eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way into Georgia, the Panhandle of Florida over the past weekend, now into the eastern part. Certainly hitting the Outer Banks with some heavy rainfall this morning as it pushes off to the north and east. Upstream, see this little band here? That has some strong thunderstorms associated with it, and there will be a threat of strong to severe thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley into the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region later today into tonight as a strong cold front pushes to the south and east. A lot of rainfall out over the heartland this morning and in the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we do have a strong cold frontal system that will be dropping to the south and east over the next 24 to 36 hours or so across the Great Lakes into the Mid-Atlantic region on Tuesday and then off the eastern seaboard later tomorrow, ushering a very comfortable air mass for the northeastern quadrant of the nation for Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday will still hang on to be pretty decent across much of the northeastern part of the nation. In terms of strong to severe thunderstorm threat, there's an enhanced possibility here across much of the Ohio Valley as that frontal system drops to the south and east. Some of the strong thunderstorms will shift to the east later tonight into the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. It can be some showers and storms on the strong side for storms tonight into the day on Tuesday as that front continues to push to the south and east. By midday afternoon hours, it will be down near the eastern seaboard on its way out, and again ushering a cool air mass into the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and ultimately the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. by Tuesday night and Wednesday. Meanwhile, out in the western states, not much in terms of rainfall and continued above normal temperatures out across the interior western U.S. Well, let's take a look at the surface forecast maps from last night's operational run of the GFS. First of all, some rainfall here across the eastern Carolinas, especially places like the Outer Banks getting hit hard right now. Again, this system, Claudette, will push out over the western Atlantic over the next 6 to 12 hours or so, and could strengthen a little bit more as it moves to the north and east, ending up not far from Nova Scotia over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Meanwhile, strong cold frontal system crossing the Great Lakes today can produce some strong to severe thunderstorms in the Ohio Valley, and that will push into the eastern U.S. Later on tonight into the day on Tuesday. Certainly This afternoon will be quite uncomfortably warm across D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. High temperatures not far from 90 degrees, maybe even in the low to mid 90s if the sun really breaks out across the D.C. metro region. And a chance of showers and thunderstorms will increase later this afternoon. The threat will continue tonight into the day on Tuesday. Not as warm on Tuesday as that front does get through the region before the real maximum daytime heating time of the day. So today will be the warmest day of the next few, and it certainly can be some shower thunderstorm activity into the day on Tuesday across the eastern seaboard. And then here we get, by the time we get to tomorrow night, Tuesday night into Wednesday, right here, the Wednesday morning forecast map, a nice, comfortable air mass for the eastern Great Lakes, for the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast. A very comfortable day on Wednesday. And again, we'll experience some overnight lows in the 50s in much of the I-95 corridor region, both later tomorrow night and again on Wednesday night, even on Thursday night in some suburban locations along the I-95 corridor region. Then the nice weather will kind of give way to some increasing warmth and humidity by the time we get to the end of the work week. Here's the Friday morning forecast map. Notice here the isobar pattern here on the back side of a high. That will promote a southwesterly flow of air first across the Ohio Valley and then into the eastern U.S. by the time we get to the upcoming weekend, pushing more warm and humid air back our way. But again, before we get to that point, we'll have another comfortable air mass for much of the northeastern quadrant of the nation by later tomorrow, all the way into the Thursday night time frame. At the same time, the western U.S. stays relatively dry and relatively hot for the very beginning stages of the summer season of 2021. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.